grace sometimes can mean that the Lord will send someone that has walked the path that you have walked before. And when that person comes to you, I will give you another example for those of my Bible friends. Remember when Mary visited Elizabeth? And remember when even Apostle Paul himself, he had Ananias to come and visit him, pray with him, whatever. So when my friend came to visit, and I didn't know this part about her. When she came to visit, it was different. Why was it different? Because she understood what I was going through, because she understood the pressure that I was going through, because she understood she had walked in this walk, and so that because of that, she was able to say, hey, this is my story, this is my daughter, this happened then, this happened to her, she told me this is what happened to me, this is what I did, this is what my mommy did, this is what this hospital did for me, and look at me now, I'm in college, I'm living, I'm growing up, I'm surviving, and I'm thriving. That is God's grace. Your grace is sufficient for all of my needs. On that particular day, I didn't know that I needed someone that had walked the journey I had walked to come and say, hello, we did this, been there, done that. You will be fine. We are still on the journey. If you need anything, reach out to us. God's grace is sufficient grace. This is what I'm saying. Grace for the journey. Because when you're on a journey, so you drive, whether you drive or you fly, I don't know, whether you walk, there are times that you rest, there are times that you engage in a different gear, there are times that you cruise, there are times that you put on your blinkers, your indicators to say I want to turn left, I want to turn right. When you get to that T junction, you need a different kind of scope to look to your left and to look to your right, and you can glance at the front because the T junction, there's nothing really there. When you come to a four-way cross, you know that I have to look to the left, to the right, front, back, whatever. And if it is all stop signs on all different angles, so you need to know, was I the first to stop? Did that person stop before me? Maybe I was there first, but I need to proceed with caution because maybe that person is also thinking, was I the first person to stop or was I the second person to stop? I don't know. But what I know is that the grace of God, when we say God's grace is sufficient for all of my needs, we are saying that for everything that I'm going through, even things that I don't know that I need. Like on that particular morning when I was exhausted or numb, I didn't know that I needed someone to come and tell me that they'd walked the journey. But they did came, they talked to me, and we've been friends. We were acquaintances, but now we've become friends. When I post something on my page, her response makes a louder noise sound in my ear because I know that she walked the journey. I have not walked 2025. You have not walked 2025. But guess what? Our God knows what's lying ahead of us. Our God knows what's ahead of us. So because we do not know what's in front of us, we need God's grace. So in everything that you're going to pray for, in everything that you're going to do, in everything that you're going to say, I am encouraging you here on today to say, you need the grace of God and grace for the journey. We're going to walk this journey together. And we're going to share stories. We're going to have people come on and speak to us and share what God's grace means to them. I asked one person and they said God's grace to me means provision. I mentioned that we've been in the hospital. We were in the hospital for 2 months. One day I was worried about what the kids were going to eat. Not that we didn't have food, but how my husband was going to be able to cook and feed the four kids, take them to school, make sure they're clean, their homework's done. And one of the things that I wanted him not to worry about was food. And so because of that, I was just sitting there just thinking, And one friend of mine was like, "Hey, Titi, how are you?" I'm like, "I'm just worried about what I'm going to do. I'm going to the hospital in a few weeks." She said, "I got this, girl." Before you know it, she set up a meal train. I had heard of meal trains. I had supported other meal trains. But I never thought that I would have a meal train to support my family and I. So what then happened is that before you know it, people started signing up. We had people driving from Plano bringing food home. We had people sending us DoorDash cards. We had people sending us gift cards. We were fed until we got discharged. And even after the discharge, one of my mom friends said, "Hey, I'm going to continue giving the girls lunch because I know that you have a lot on your plate." We have friends, families, moms. "Hey, Titi, don't worry about it. I'll help you with the school run." That's provision. That's God's grace being sufficient for all of my needs. So for all the things that I could worry about, food was taken care of. Went to the hospital, still food was there. So may God bless you, may God keep you, may God continue to walk with you in 2025, and I pray that sufficient grace and grace for the journey will be a blessing to you. I will be back on, I don't know when, but I will be back with another video. I hope to post at least every other day or every day as the Lord helps me. As you can see, I attempted to do a Facebook Live and then the kids were inside out, and I don't like yelling at the kids. I don't yell at the kids as much as I can. And so if we can't do it, we can't. But we'll be on this journey, looking forward to amazing speakers. We'll have professionals. We're going to talk about mental health, emotional health, spiritual health. We will go Bible. Whatever we do, it will be biblically based. And if we're going to give testimonies and stories, unless it's a folk tale, it will be stories that you can trace and say, this person that Sid is talking about, did they really survive? Did they really walk the earth? So may God bless you. May God's grace be upon you. And you can also support us by buying our merch, like the shirt I'm wearing today. It says sufficient grace. God's grace is sufficient grace. I also have another, well, let's talk about just this one. 2 Corinthians verse 12, verse 9. God's grace. My grace is sufficient for all of your needs. We also have another one that says the struggle is real, but the grace of God is greater. The struggle is real, but God's grace is great. I think that's what it says. So stay warm if you're in Dallas. Stay warm wherever you are. Try to eat as much as you can. If you can, if you're fasting, may God bless you. May God keep you. I love you. Shalom, shalom. Remember, grace for the journey. His grace is sufficient for all of your needs.
Are we gonna do another one?
Let me see. No, because I need to get into prayer.
I didn't even play anything. I didn't even play anything.
You're going to play, don't worry.
Ourselves for this session. Father, we want to thank you. We want to thank you, Lord,